Hello, everyone. Once again, back we are here one more time for the Old Man Grappling Hour. I am Kevin Gallagher, Uncle Coach Kevin, whatever you choose to call me this week. And then my good friend, co-sponsor, co-host, cohort, Mr. Sonny Parlin.
Most famous for stupid human tricks on David Letterman, 1989.
Absolutely. Google it. It's true.
Today
we got another special guest. Again, another one of the team that keeps my body together, keeps me running fluid, keeps me moving at the high rate of energy output that I'm accustomed to utilizing daily.
You're like a Mercedes, you know.
It takes a lot to keep me running. I need the premium.
You need a lot of work done.
I don't even want to tell you how much I spend on this shit, but I love you all. My body is important to me.
See, I'm like a Toyota Corolla.
Low maintenance.
Exactly, low maintenance.
Today we have our very special guest, sponsor of the show, my fitness guru, my nutritionist, my nutrition and eating guru, Mr. Connor Kovacs from Classic Coaching. Connor, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
So real quick, let's just start off. We usually just intro into tell us about yourself, tell us about the business you created, give us your mission statement, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Connor Kovacs, and thanks for the introduction. I appreciate it. You can call me Coach C. That's what I go by more often than not nowadays. My girlfriend and I, we run Classic Coaching, and
your girlfriend hiding in the corner,
hiding in the corner.
Who's definitely not sitting outside in a lawn chair in our storage.
I didn't bring a beach chair for her to sit in for
resting
this.
in our beautiful $1 million facility with the couches, being
gorgeous,
drinking champagne. Oh my!
I told you,
$1 million facility, son of a bitch. Back again. Connor, go ahead, continue. I apologize. Absolutely.
No, you're good. Don't know where to pick up from, so I'm good to pick up wherever.
You and your girlfriend's business.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend who's sitting in her luxury chair out there. We run Classic Coaching, and originally stemmed as entirely a bodybuilding endeavor to coach bodybuilding and work my way up in that industry. But as the coaching business developed, we realized there's a much greater joy, and let's be honest, a greater profitability as well in coaching many athletes, such as yourselves in jiu-jitsu, other folks who are cops, military, high-level athletes. We just started working with a professional volleyball player and developing a business that's going to tackle providing nutrition and health coaching for athletes like that, and also your everyday person. So
cool. So tell us about your personal background. Like, how did you get involved in this? Tell us your story, where you came from, where you got passionate about nerd. Because I will tell you, again, like I say this about all of our guests, but like I'm not just hiring some assholes to do this shit. Like I have been around the block a few times with different gurus and different guys that have different things. And like, goddamn, if you aren't absolutely amazing at what you do, and your ability to be able to follow through on what you say consistently comes from more than just a knowledge of the topic. There's a passion that comes to it to be able to do what you do. So tell us about where that passion came from, and where you started and all that stuff.
For sure. So funny enough, my passion for this stemmed from learning I was not passionate about what I went to college for. So I actually have a mechanical engineering degree, and did that for about 5 years post-grad. But in college, I was going to these courses and I was doing great. I was great at math, great at physics. It was awesome. But by senior year, I still had no fucking clue what to say I was going to do with it. My teachers, the question was always, awesome, you have an engineering degree. What are you going to do with it? Or why did you get your degree? Could never answer that question. But my entire 4 years through college, I spent every minute of my free time on Google, on bodybuilding.com, wherever I could find information in terms of building muscle, being healthier, losing fat. I even somehow negotiated my senior level technical course to be accepted as the advanced nutrition course that they offered for exercise science majors. So it wasn't even relative to my degree, but somehow I was able to finagle that because I was more passionate about that and would rather learn about vitamins A, D, E, and K than building a robot. So found my passion there. Like I said, post-grad, worked in the typical 9-to-5 gig for about 5 years and did the coaching thing on the side. In this past, actually not this past February, but February 2023, made the full-time transition and quit my job and started tackling coaching full-time.
It's funny too, because I know you, and like, I've had many, we'll get into the details of the service you provide as we if we go a little bit deeper, but I've had many chats with you, conversations with you, and it's very apparent the high level of scientific driven data that you put into what you do. And it seems to me that it's even above and beyond what a normal nutritionist would take it to. Do you think that some of your engineering background and some of the mind thought process that you put through
100%
follows through into your
100%. So engineering is literally just the understanding of why something works. So physics is the why to a degree and on a mathematical level, but engineering is your understanding the why in every little bit of detail. So, well, I just took that application and put it towards the human body and wanted to learn, instead of a car sliding down a ramp at 5 kilometers per hour.
Right.
I wanted to learn, okay, what did 20 grams of carbs do to a person's body pre-workout today versus the next day, and compare, contrast, and see how that pushes things forward.
It's funny too, because like, you talk about a lot of guys in the jiu-jitsu realm. You've got like John Danaher. You've got guys that are, absolute geniuses in other areas or other realms that found that they were bored with the realm that they put their energy into, that they were supposed to do, that have taken on other pursuits that aren't necessarily as scholarly, because you don't really think about, to the layman, you don't really think about nutrition as being this scholarly pursuit. You think of it as, meatheads that want to, or, or dietitians when you're sick or some things like that, but you don't really think of it as someone that has the intelligent capacity to be an engineer, to put that thought process into a nutrition planning service. So
I'm going to take you on a whole tangent right here.
Go ahead, but that's what we're here for, man.
I really think it comes down to the fact.
Good question, Sonny.
If you don't say so yourself.
It comes down to the fact that when at any point in your life, growing up as a teenager or a young adult, did anybody look at you and say, hey, this shit you're putting in your mouth, that's important to know about? Nobody said that. You probably ordered a pizza at 11 p.m. as many nights a week as you wanted, and nobody was there to tell you, hey, this is a bad idea. Probably somebody told you it's a bad idea to do drugs. Somebody probably told you it's a bad idea to go 200 miles per hour on the highway. But who the fuck educated you on any of the other stuff?
You saw the photo of me.
Yeah, that transformation right there. So you look like you went from not knowing or caring or being told, like
100%.
Told this is going to impact you negatively. And because people don't think, they think, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to eat food. And they don't look at food as anything other than the thing they're putting in their mouth at that given moment.
Yeah.
Nobody's educated enough, or we're not given the opportunity to be educated enough to make those thoughts.
And I can tell you from firsthand experience, like how much more amazing my body is functioning just from paying attention.
Yeah.
Just from thinking things through. And I'm not like starving myself, which we'll get into more, some of the details of your philosophies and stuff like that. Like I'm eating plenty of calories. I'm eating enough to what I need to meet my goals, but I'm eating high quality, nutrient dense food, and my performance and my overall health and everything I feel is better. So one thing I wanted to piggyback on that before we get to our regular questions, because I feel like writing and talking and doing my thing over here to keep you off guard. But so I can remember when I was a kid, and I'm a little bit older than you are. Sonny's a little bit older than I am. We're talking like in the 80s when I went to freaking elementary school, and like I can remember when they would give us basic little ideas of what the nutrition wheel.
Oh, it was a wheel back then?
Yeah, it was. It was a plate, and it was a plate. This much was vegetables.
We had a pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramid or whatever the hell it is.
I feel like they change it every year.
Tell us a little bit about, first of all, maybe what you feel like you bring to the table extra to that, and tell us about, that was 35, 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
What changes in the idea of nutrition have occurred over the last few decades that we've seen?
Nothing and everything at the same time. And I know that answer is fucking terrible, but the basis of it all, nothing. Like we can easily identify, you walk into Whole Foods and you see, okay, these are green, these are good to eat. You can walk to the butcher, you see good cuts of meat. Those things haven't changed. Greens, vegetables, good real sources of protein. Those were all still healthy. They were healthy 45 years ago, 60 years ago, whatever. Now, what changes as we advance through all of that is how much you want to eat of one certain item, what the media wants to demonize this year. Because what was it in the 90s? It was sugar was the demon, and then the early 2000s, fats were the demons.
The funny thing is fat was the answer to sugar, and sugar was the answer to fat. Like, that's the cool part of it.
And then 2010s rolled around, and it was something else that I never probably thought too much on. But there's always some new craze that's going to demonize something, and then some new finding that's going to over glorify something else. And that's probably every 5 years we're talking about that, and it's a never-ending cycle. But at the very basic root of it all of that hasn't changed. What we know is being good, healthy, wholesome, nutrient-dense foods, those haven't changed. The carrot's a carrot. It's been 60 years. That carrot's no different. It might grow it a little bit differently, but that's about it.
And we've all seen the cartoons. Like carrots help your eyesight.
It's for everything. It's like
Spinach makes you strong.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Popeye had an idea. He knew something.
Right.
Question I have for you. So I keep hearing about these like fad diets that come and go. Mm-hmm. And one that keeps coming up, that keeps popping up that everyone's talking about is a good diet, is the carnivore diet.
Okay.
Where all they're doing is eating meat, nothing else. What is your thoughts on that?
So a little caveat to that. So it's meats, fats, and vegetables. So those are fine on your carnivore diet. The whole main goal is to mostly reduce or completely eliminate carbohydrate intake. Now, first and foremost, fad diets, they're all the fucking same. They put you in a caloric deficit. At the end of the day, that's the answer to all of them. Keto, Mediterranean, Atkins diet, you're just eating less than what your body actually needs at that given moment. Now with the new carnivore diet, that's just another means to the same end. So with that, you're not going to be able to eat so much chicken and protein in a single day that you're eating 4,000 calories. Mm-hmm. You would be so sick to your stomach. So, well, if you're limiting the options of foods that you're available to consume, well, you're going to eventually just eat less in that given day, and then so on and so forth. You start to lose weight, you start to lose fat. Carnivore diet more specifically, though, people find that you start to feel better on it just because of the food options you are selecting and then the food options you're eliminating. And if you want, I can go into more detail about that, and it's just going to get nerdy. But
no, I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, because I don't know anything about this shit. You know, I just like... For me, like when I started losing weight, I just stopped eating shit. In other words,
and for so many people, that's the answer.
Yeah, like just to give you an example of the kind of eating I was doing when I was fat, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and I'd be like, I'm hungry. Let's go to the freezer and grab some Ben and Jerry's and have a pint, right? And
FYI, I want Fat Sonny back, but that's another story. that's always the catchphrase. FYI, bring Fat Sonny back, but we love you. Keep going, Sonny. I want you healthy. I don't want you to die.
Yeah, me neither.
Not a bad idea.
I would eat stuff like that, or I would eat Chinese food every day.
Yep.
And not just like, for instance, yesterday I had a little Chinese food, but all I had was barbecued spare ribs. That was it. Yeah. I didn't have anything else. No rice, no nothing, no egg rolls, just the barbecue spare ribs. Mm-hmm. But what I used to do was I would grab barbecue spare ribs. I would grab pork fried rice. I would grab egg rolls. I would grab crab rangoons, all of that shit. And that would be one meal, all that shit.
And for your diet, that one meal could be enough calories for technically your entire day.
Yeah.
But you're doing that in one sitting.
Right.
And you're probably eating something else throughout the day too, right?
Yeah. And then there'd be dessert. Let's not forget about
Can't forget about, there's always room for dessert. I might be a coach. I might love to live healthy and tell people to live healthy, but there's always room for dessert.
So I just stopped eating shit, and that was one. And of course, exercising more.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main differences for me. Was like I just cut out all that crap, and I basically told myself that ice cream was like heroin. If I have one little bit of ice cream, I'm gonna keep eating it. So
extreme, but it works.
Yeah. So I basically treated myself like it was an addiction. And I had to stop completely.
There's studies out there that literally go on about that.
Folks at home, just for clarification, heroin is heroin, not ice cream. So do not go home and say, well, Sonny said I can have heroin because it's just like ice cream. Just to make that clear.
But there is something to that. There's something to food addiction.
Yeah, so there's been studies done. I could not cite them off my top of my head, but studies that directly link food, the mental actual neurological stimulus that occurs when you eat certain foods. And
Yeah,
then
I would imagine
how
they're releasing endorphins or some shit.
Yeah. So what I think
They tried to sue McDonald's. There was a
Yeah.
class action lawsuit that was actually put together
Sue who?
to try to sue McDonald's because their food was so fatty rich that they were saying people are actually hooked on all the fat and all the shit that was inside the McDonald's food. So the reason why they kept coming back is because they needed to have that fix. It was a little bit overreaching,
Right.
but
Yeah.
there was
Oh, I can see exactly.
There's a mindset to it though.
Yeah, I can see exactly where
And
the
don't
hop,
think
skip,
they
and the jump
don't think
was.
they didn't think about that either. Like, oh, what do you mean? Like, don't think there wasn't a bunch of scientists in rooms saying, if you put people up to fat, they're going to buy more hamburgers.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But
yep, it's all about that reward stimulus in the brain. And for us, if we're basically putting ourselves in the position to say, oh, Ben and Jerry's tastes good. When it tastes good and my stomach feels happy, I feel happy. Well, what are you gonna always go back to? Whatever the fuck makes you happy.
Right.
You don't go back to something that makes you in pain.
It's why there's people when they get depressed, their solution for depression is to eat.
Yeah, can be.
Yeah, and it's sad, you know. And then you see all these fat fuckers walking around Walmart, and you're just like, these are all depressed people.
on their little larks.
Yeah.
We're happy you're still alive, Sonny. Keep Sonny skinny. Yeah. So moving along, let's talk a little bit about the services that you provide to your clients. You know, something that you offer to your clients and what you do for them along the lines of what your business works. And then we can get back at some follow-up questions after that.
For sure. So we provide one-on-one only online coaching to all of our clients, and that can stem from will stem from nutrition, training, and then accountability. We have that little pyramid there that we call our three puzzle pieces we put together to make a successful coach-client relationship. So your training, your nutrition, your accountability. Now, nutrition, training, I could go find a kid on the side of the road, say, hey, put 5 healthy items on a piece of paper and go tell somebody to bench press. But that's the simple part of it. The accountability part,
Right.
the communication part, that's where we excel. And that's where classic coaching, I feel, is set apart from other coaching experiences, and then other teams, coaches, whatever you want to categorize it as. So we're applying training. So training can be categorized as any form of activity. So you guys train for jiu-jitsu. But if you guys weren't doing that, so similarly right now, your activity for what you're doing, it's lower activity, but any activity would be your training for this period of time. Nutrition is given to our clients very specifically based on their needs. So 50-year-old female is going to get something entirely different than you. David Canis, who's in his 20s, is high-level jiu-jitsu, is going to get something entirely different as well. So we make sure that's very individualized for their needs. If it's for sports, any type of health conscious needs as well, or just generalized weight loss. And then, like I said, the accountability factor. So you get communication with us almost 7 days a week, depending on who you work with on the team. And we're able to just be able to essentially be in your pocket as much as you need and provide you the push you need, the accountability you need, and sometimes the kick in the ass you guys need to stay on track. Because at the end of the day, I'm not coaching you on quick fixes. I'm coaching you on like life-changing.
Something I've read about accountability in specific, and it works with competition too, is when you announce to the world that you're going to do something, you know, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and you put it out on Facebook for all your friends to see, you're more likely to do it than if you just say it to your wife or something.
Yeah, because now the whole world's looking at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like a competition. You're like, all right, I'm going to go compete at the East Coast Trials.
Right.
And
Now you got to do it.
Now you got to do it, and which means you got to train for it.
Right.
You know, and it's just, if you didn't tell anybody, you could just be like, maybe I won't do it.
You know, I'll attest to the accountability. You guys do that weekly check-ins, and like you take pictures, one from the side, one from the front, one from the back. You get the way you answer your questionnaire, and like you guys, like you get on it. Like when I fuck off, like you're like, hey asshole. Like you're paying for this shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, you and I had that 20-minute conversation in the car, and I was like, you know, I'm having this conversation with you now. So in 6 weeks, I can refer back to it and say, hey, remember when you agreed with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
That we're here for this mission. We're here together to get to this end goal. So let's fucking stay on it.
The thing that I noticed the most is that accountability keeps people like myself that are crazy busy in the know to be able to be like, okay, shit, like I might have been losing track of this. like I have to prioritize this because Connor's going to give me shit
Yep.
if I don't. And then
Yeah.
you're always available on your WhatsApp to have conversations with you. So tell us a little bit about the service that you provide as far as some of the things that make you different from like just a regular old food prep company or something like that.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I don't even know what the categories of all that are
There's
anymore.
so many of them. There's so many of them.
Because I get it. There's meal prep companies, I guess, that do provide some just generalized, here's like 4 meals a day for you. I don't know if they make anything individualized. But it just comes down to the individual experience. And something I've learned over the past year alone with the clients that come to us and with the clients that have stayed with us, their response is the same every time. They either came from a bad coach and the communication was poor, the one-on-one aspect that you're paying for was poor, not met by the coach's side. And then those same clients who stay on for a long time, they always have the same positive thing to say, which is we stay because of the personalized factor, because I actually give a shit, unlike some other coaches. Now, at the end of the day, depending on the goal at hand, there's some extremes that come with it, because jiu-jitsu guys, you guys have to make weight sometimes. So there's going to be extremes there. Bodybuilding, there's going to be extremes there. So we make sure to provide that personalized experience so that you are satisfied with the results you're getting and then the journey on the way there. Because at the end of the day, our fixes aren't quick. We're in this for a freaking long ride. So you might as well like the person you're working with, right?
Exactly.
So it'd be a really shitty fucking time if you didn't like me.
What?
Really awkward sitting here.
I cook my own meals, and I don't mind because I cook. I like to cook. It doesn't bother me. And for the most part, like I have been cooking for myself in some form of a meal prep capacity for my entire life. And first of all, it's not that hard.
No.
You just freaking heat your protein up. You get your protein ready for the week, cook it every couple of days, throw it on the grill, then I throw my veggies in my damn air fryer.
Yep.
It's just the idea of kind of the repetitiveness of it. But hey, this is what you want to do.
You build the habits around it.
You build the habits around it. Do you offer any services for people that don't want to cook? Are there any suggestions you have for someone that doesn't like to cook?
Or someone who lives in an apartment and not allowed to have a grill?
So you do have a stove.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you're good. You're just making excuses now.
Right, exactly. That's kind of the point I'm getting to.
But no, on a serious note though, I've had clients, well actually I've had some clients who...
Or somebody that's so incredibly busy they just don't have time to cook their meals.
I worked with a kid who was on an aircraft in the Mediterranean like 2 years ago. That's all he was able to eat was what they served on the ship, trained on the ship. He was stuck on the ship, and I talked to him once a week because that's when he had Wi-Fi. But he's able to make it happen. We talked as much as we could about what food he had options of on the ship, how he could make that work, and we were able to make it happen. I don't care about many people's descriptions of what their circumstances are where they say it's difficult. I've worked with people who are in more difficult circumstances, and I haven't even worked with the worst of circumstances, and people just make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a real issue with cooking, I have workarounds. I'm sure I can I can put meal plans together or guidelines together that fall better into line with those people who might not be able to cook as well or as often as the next. But again, that comes with the personalized experience that we provide at Classic Coaching. I'm going to take the time to tell you or have the discussion with you of why you're unable to cook or unable to cook, and then how do we navigate that moving forward to actually get the results you want to see.
How long have you been doing this business?
Well, I guess Classic Coaching officially was established in 2018.
Wow.
Well, there's a time lapse in there.
Right.
Couple hiccups. So that was part-time gig. That was probably from 2018 to 2021. It was about like 10 to 12 clients rotating just on my own, doing it as a side gig. But
I'm sure you have a lot more clients now. What was your hump that you had to get over to be able to bring in a lot more people?
Still working in engineering, and I actually ended up working with a different team as an assistant coach myself. So I started working with a different team under a different name and everything, just as an employee.
Kind of learning how the system works a little bit better.
Exactly. But also to get my name and my face out there more, to get more experience as a coach. Yeah. So I did that for about a year,
Kind of like personal
you're-
trainers do. They go to work at, whatever, Gold's Fitness or something to build up a repertoire or build up a
Yep.
book. And then they
everyone's got to start somewhere. So you start in your entry level job. So I worked with this other team for about a year and a half. And then when I realized there was opportunity and realistic future plans for me to step out of that and establish this Classic Coaching more seriously, did that in February of 2023. So there was about 2 years where I was doing this part-time, about a year and a half for another team. And then February 2023, I kicked it off on my own.
Great.
So
And how old are you?
great. 28.
28.
Yeah.
I got a whole pair of shoes older than that laying around.
I know.
Socks. I
feel so old right now.
Years old.
God, I could be your dad.
How old are you?
I'm 51.
My dad's older.
Yeah.
I know I look 29, but
Yeah, it's all in the freaking details. So yeah, let's kind of get into a little bit deeper. Now, this is, just some questions for our guys at home that are, because again, there's a lot of people who are like, I'm fucking healthy enough. I don't even worry about that shit, man. I'm good. I'm fucking living. I like to eat. I like to have fun. I like to enjoy my life. But, that's only for freaking, athletes or freaking
people who need it.
it, right? So tell me, first of all, tell me why, a healthy, nutritional eating schedule should be a foundation for just anyone, and tell us why you don't really need to be an athlete to have to prioritize that.
Yeah. So I'm a firm believer, first and foremost, that you should just desire a higher quality of life. And that's going to stem from how you feel the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And then also that trickles into how you sleep as well. So it's a 24-hour schedule where what you put in your body affects how you feel at any given moment of that day. Now, we all like alcohol. We all say that makes us feel good at a certain period of time. And then the next day we feel like shit. Well, if you're not paying attention to your diet, your consistent normal, which you call your normal, you feel fine in, could genuinely be you feeling like shit. You just be none the wiser. Give yourself some time to actually eat healthy and see what life feels like and looks like when you're prioritizing actually what you're putting in your mouth. And more often than not, you'll find people are like, wait, this actually makes a difference. And it doesn't need to be doesn't need to be an athlete of any sort. It can just be anybody who genuinely gives a shit to feel better, look better, live longer. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna be happy with me saying this, but like, you fuck better too. Yeah. So like for most guys, like, this is what I tell them. Like, if they're coming to me in just more of a lifestyle standpoint and they're a bit like 30, 45 year range, I'm like, hey, you want to fuck your wife better? Like, you will do that if you actually prioritize your health. And that starts with what you put in your mouth. Yeah. And more people will listen to that than me being like, yeah, you'll look a little bit better in the mirror.
It's funny too, because whatever. That's, what the hell, dude? What are we really here for, folks at home?
I mean, we can stem into that entirely. I work with hormones.
My mother. Hi, Mom. Oh, great. She's gonna love that one. I'm not gonna go see her after this. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you bring shit like that. It's funny that you bring shit like that up too, because like and this happened to me. This is one thing that I noticed 100% out the gate, is that I lived in a life of about 75% for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Like, I was working nights, working in smoky fucking bars, like getting no sleep, thinking I was eating healthy, but really just kind of pushing things around and kind of like eating when I could and how I could. And that became my baseline for normal. Like, I was like, this is it. This is how I feel. This is life. And, this is this is good, right? This is the way it is. And it wasn't until I started taking time and prioritizing where I want to be in my life and how I want to feel better, and taking the time to let those things start to build back up again, that I was like, wow, like, this is my new baseline. Yeah. This is absolutely amazing. I can't believe that I functioned at any fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let alone like competing all the time and doing what I was doing at this level.
Yep.
Like, it's absolutely amazing. And it sucks that I waited so long to build myself back up to here again.
Yeah.
Do you notice that a lot with your clients when you work with them after a while? They start to recognize that?
Oh, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. I'll have clients who, like, I have a kid right now. He just checked in 20 minutes ago. Works in the oil field. He works really, really shitty shifts, and we manage that as we can with communication. But last month he broke his thumb. Then he had a fucking eye infection, and so he fucked off for like 10 days. And he came back to me like 10 pounds heavier, and he's like, "Dude, I feel like shit. What the fuck did I do to myself? I hate this."
Right.
Week later, wow, I love how I feel again. This is great. Like, this is how I want to feel, and it's pretty. I want to say it's pretty common once you put yourself in a good rhythm with nutrition and you realize the grass is greener on the other side. You don't want to go back, and then if you do find yourself falling back that way, you always want to grasp on and push yourself back to that feeling healthy, where you set the new bar for yourself. Because most people, they think their bar is here and they're good at operating. They think this is great, but they'll never fucking know that this is actually great. This feels great. You're happier here.
You're supposed to be.
Yeah, this is where you could be. This is where you want to be.
I definitely
take that much
notice, like, when I get injured, because I'm injured right now, and over the weekend, I gained about 5 pounds, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, and I went and trained anyway, even though I'm injured, and my left arm, I have some kind of tear in my bicep. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but like, I'm willing now to actually just deal with the pain. And
to stay training, you mean?
Stay training,
Yeah.
100%. Because I did not like the way I felt at all over the weekend, and going up 5 pounds on the scale. I'm like, fuck that. So I'm just gonna suffer through it. I'll take Advil. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit how I feel. My arm, exactly. I'm gonna continue to train and not worry about it. I'm just, if my arm hurts, I'm gonna fucking take Advil.
You okay with me telling you you're wrong and you could have done it better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because really, you could have, though. So I have guys who end up injured, or some people who just end up in a position where they need more rest at that given time. I have a guy next week.
This guy right here.
Yeah, he's doing it right now. But next week, he's 265 pounds right now. He just put on 50 pounds of weight in the past 6 months. And
fat? Or?
No, good weight, muscle.
Okay,
Kid's jacked.
Good.
But his whole thing, he was like starting to accrue more fatigue week over week. So he's tired, not recovering as well. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to take 4 days off next week. But at the end of that 4 days, the goal at the end of that rest, to eat properly the entire time, to hydrate properly the entire time, to rest properly
Isn't that
the
a
entire
mistake
time.
that people make if they can't train in whatever, weightlifting or jiu-jitsu or any kind of cardio? They continue to eat the same.
Exactly. So he'll eat less those days.
Right.
So I think I've used this with you, but I'll probably use this for the rest of the podcast now. Compare the human body to a car. If you're not driving at 300 miles that day, you don't need to fill the tank. Why would you? You're just going to sit there, and I mean, in the human body now, if you fill the tank to top and you park it in the garage with half a tank full, well, what's that half tank going to do overnight? Well, in the human body, it's going to make you more sluggish the next day. It's going to do its normal processes and store as fat. So on days that you're not training, on days that you're prioritizing relaxation, you eat less because you have to give less.
I mean, just to kind of piggyback on that too, like, I haven't done jiu-jitsu now in probably close to 6 weeks to 8 weeks. Probably, I just took some time off.
You haven't trained?
I haven't trained. I lift with my trainer twice a week, but we do really light stuff. I've probably about 6 weeks since I started having the freaking migraine.
Still
and shit.
teaching.
Still teaching, right? Yeah. Still there in the gym. But the point is like, from working with Connor in a more caloric deficit, not necessarily caloric deficit. Well, we could say caloric deficit, but more nutrient rich, smart eating. I'm eating smaller meals 5 times a day.
To the average person, that wouldn't look like a deficit or a
diet.
diet.
I eat so much damn food. It's ridiculous.
It's a lot of food.
It's insane how much food I eat. Like, as I'm on a diet, it's a lot of food. But the point is that, like, I am dropped freaking 10 pounds. Yeah. Like, I feel lean. Like, and my energy levels are actually, this is the first time ever, no bullshitting, that I have taken an extended period of time off from jiu-jitsu and not slipped into a deep, dark depression of like, oh, my life is over because I was sedentary and eating garbage and not doing anything. And like I'm doing some steps now and things like that. It's funny because
There's
like,
activity.
it
Still
almost
activity.
goes against my freaking, my whole philosophy on owning a goddamn gym, but like this is not training and just walking around the block a couple times and eating clean. Like I feel better and stronger than I probably have ever in my entire life.
Is there a specific food, like for instance, I like to eat an apple,
Okay.
right?
I love apples.
Apples are great because they actually fill me up for a few hours.
Yep.
And they're also thirst quenching, you know? Is there any food that you recommend that will do the job of making you feel full, even though it's not a lot of food that you're eating?
That's a good one.
So low calorie, but you get that satisfactory feeling of like, okay, I'm good for a while now because I just had, this piece of bread.
As an individual food, I can't quite say there's one, but vegetables, fruits, and then healthy fats. If you can combine those into like a snack, like if you had an apple and you put some like cashew butter a little bit on that apple,
Okay.
add that, that'd be a perfect snack because that'll hold you over for longer, actually help you sustain the energy a little bit longer, and then also be healthy for you. Cashew butter's a healthier fat there. But anything that's gonna be higher in volume, lower in calories. So like you look at a steak that's that big, that's like call it 400 calories for number's sake. Well, look at a salad that's big, 400 calories.
Right.
Same amount of energy you're putting into your body on a numbers basis, but volume wise, that's going to sit in your stomach a lot bigger.
Right.
So it's going to fill you up longer. So you want to make those decisions where if you're looking at a cupcake that's big, that's not going to fill you up. That's a shit ton of calories though.
All right.
But then you look at a whole pineapple, might be similar calories, but it's a lot more food you're putting in your mouth.
And fiber that helps you.
Fiber's gonna be great for
release
that
it
too.
out and stuff like that. You mentioned that you worked a lot with athletes and a lot with different fighters and things like that. And one of the things that we as coaches come in contact with, and sometimes as competitors, is the idea of cutting weight.
Yep.
And like, cutting weight is one of those things that's been passed down from the generations, particularly in the fighting culture.
Yeah.
That they believe is somewhat scientific based, but it is really just what kind of has worked for you in the past and some kind of bro science. that's based on-
Unpopular opinion, cutting weight is the most dangerous thing you
Yeah,
can do.
well,
that's a very real opinion.
The point of it is it ain't going nowhere. We can debate. We can debate that forever. I believe that the UFC should fight at the weight classes, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone's always going to game the system to feel like they've got an advantage. It just means now they're going to.
And look, if you were
the
cutting
match
10
kill
pounds for a
themselves.
fight, I'd say more power to you. But some of these guys are cutting 25 fucking pounds.
Yeah,
but circumstance. When are they starting that 25-pound cut? Because
Right.
Mike,
If
Mike
it's
Cronin
a
and I
couple
today-
months out, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's a couple days out, that's not good.
Mike Cronin and I talked about that today exactly because it was Usman 2 years ago
Yeah.
did 25 pounds in 4 days or 3
Right.
days or something like that, and I think he got knocked out.
So
There's no way you can be
I will
affected.
say that there is, and this is no way condoning or not, there are certain freaks of nature
Yes.
that I've known from wrestling that have been able to condition themselves to they can cut 25 pounds of water weight or 25% of their body weight in water weight in 2 days, and it's just what they do. Johnny Hendricks, some of these guys are ridiculous old wrestlers that can do that shit. I never thought it was safe, and I still don't think it's safe, and I still don't think it should be a part of sports, but it is what it is. We ain't winning that fucking
Yeah, we're
battle
also not
today.
going to win the battle of
Yeah.
PEDs either.
Yeah, exactly. That's another
I
story.
like those. So
Yeah,
those
that's-
Oh, no,
that's
hey,
another-
listen, I like them too.
We're pro fucking. Boy, sound like boy.
You want to talk about fucking better?
Hey,
Me and Kevin got some solutions
Hey,
too.
hey, I'm your guy.
pretty sure I'm the one who wrote Cialis on the plan. So just-
We are one with the chemicals.
Our new sponsor, Cialis.
you'd be out of this studio, that's for sure.
So let's. Yeah, Cialis definitely didn't sponsor this fucking studio. Let's. So here nor there. Let's talk about some of the ways that you would think of helping athletes and some of the biggest misconceptions about cutting weight that you have found working with athletes that want to cut weight.
So I think from the fighting community, they're just making it too complex and too risky unnecessarily. Now let's talk about Usman, because that was just on topic, and that's a perfect example because you mentioned guys can cut 20 to 25 pounds and they condition themselves.
And that will happen again because guys get called on short notice to fight.
Yeah, they're gonna for $100,000. If I got to cut 25 pounds in 2 days, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
Right.
for crazy circumstance, it makes sense, but for most individuals, shit like that doesn't work. Usman's a ball of muscle head to toe, so anatomically, from my point of view, he has probably just 15 pounds of water on him at any given time of day, just because he carries so much muscle. For the average fighter who's not jacked out of their mind like that beautiful black man, they don't have that luxury. So now you're playing the balancing act of, if I weigh in at this smaller weight category and then fill back up to my normal heavier weight, is that going to actually give me an advantage? More likely than not, no. Pick a weight class you want to compete at that you're going to be able to train for effectively. And then if you have to cut 10 pounds, make that decision 16 weeks, 12 weeks before the actual fight. And then start working your way there slowly but surely over time. And then once you're near that fight week, you're in striking distance, 5 to 8 pounds max.
Yeah, that's the
going
An
into
amazing point you just made, because when I had Kyle Koziel as one of my fighters, one of my MMA fighters, there was some times where he would cut so badly that it's like the entire camp that he spent training, he's training at this certain weight, and he knows how he feels at that weight, and he knows what he can do at that weight to other men.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, you look at him after the weigh-ins and you're like, oh my God, he's a different person. And you think to yourself, like, how the fuck is he going to do what he's been doing? And, more often than not,
they don't.
they don't.
But so, again, there's optimal ways to do things. Talk about some of the things that guys do wrong as they're cutting that 20 to 25 pounds over the, say you got everything right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this the right way. I'm going to cut the weight out, the correct way over the long haul for the 6 to 8 weeks leading up. So I've only got 5 to 8 pounds at the end. Tell us some of the things that you have noticed that are some of the mistakes that people have made along those routes.
So from what I'm realizing and understanding is that for most fighters, there's no rhyme or reason to what they're putting in their mouth. So they're probably not eating enough during a given day, going to train at night or whenever they have their time to train, and then just eating a gigantic Chipotle bowl afterwards because they can subjectively say, okay, cool, that's probably a decently healthy meal. There's chicken, there's rice, there's veggies. Yeah. There's no consistency in it though. So on Tuesday, you might do that. On Thursday, you might have dinner with your girl, you have breakfast with your family, and then you don't roll, and then the next day you're up 4 pounds. You have no idea where things are fluctuating.
I've seen the most inconsistent diets from these guys. Like one day they're eating pizza, one day they're eating sushi, one day they're eating Chipotle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if you actually want to get in a ring, on a mat, whatever, seriously, take it as serious as any other athlete would. Look at top NBA players, NFL players. Fuck the bodybuilding community because that their whole entire life is eating. But look at every other sport. Yeah, they might have a private chef or whatever. They're pretty cool, I guess.
But you can imitate that.
But you can imitate
it's
that.
Not that
and
hard.
It's not that
it's
hard.
Not that hard
and
at all.
I think it more so comes down to the fact that you don't know what you don't know. So if nobody in the fighting community is out there voicing, hey, you should probably take your nutrition seriously because at the end of the day, you guys have the most brutal sport out of all of us. You might want to get onto the mat at your best and then also at your safest. Because I mean, granted, you guys are pretty fucking crazy, so I'm sure you don't think about this. Don't think about the safety factor too much, but still, that's a whole factor in it that you have to
we're
weigh
fucking
into.
stupid.
We're just dumb.
I would take crazy over stupid.
We'll get someone will jump on our ankle and we'll just be like, I'm not going to tap.
And I think that one of the big things, and this is just in general, these are just things that I am starting to learn the more and more I'm starting to think about the big picture of my life in general. Like, I will dedicate my fucking existence to training like a savage, 6 days a week because I have to be on the mat. I have to do this. I have to do that. But the idea of spending 20 minutes, half an hour twice a week to cook my protein and, 20 minutes a day to prep the 3 to 4 meals, 3 meals I have to eat throughout the course of the day to bring me seems like such an insurmountable task.
Yep.
That I won't dedicate myself to do that. Now, the accountability from you has helped me to understand that it's worth it. But the point of the matter is if you're going to spend that much time on shit, things that are breaking your body down, like, and this is just as you get older in general, you got to spend equally as much time on figuring out how to make your body stay healthy.
Yeah.
Make your body
Rebuild
produce
what's
it.
broken.
Rebuild
Yep.
what's
But
broken.
you know what though? Like, and I think you're selling yourself short because one thing that like Kevin doesn't talk about this much, and he should. But Kevin was big boy too back
Well, I was a
when we
big
were in
boy,
our
yeah.
30s.
Yeah.
Like I was 280 pounds of you saw
Yeah.
that photo.
I didn't know
he's
what
a
that
big boy.
weighed.
He's a
Yeah,
big boy.
and he
Bring
was
back fat
he
sign.
was pretty big too. The only difference was he had long hair, so he looked like a fat Clay Guida. but yeah, like we both have shaped up in our older age here. And in our 40s, and now me in my 50s. But yeah, we've both done a hell of a lot of work. Yeah. The problem is now that I'm finding trouble is the maintenance. Like just a few months ago, I found myself up into 240s, and I was like, uh-oh. So I went into hardcore mode and got back down to 220 where I am now.
Yep.
And I would like to be at 205. I'd like to lose another 15.
Yeah.
You know, and 205 is like my weight that I like to be at for grappling. But as to his point, as you get older, it gets harder.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what the fuck that's all about. I guess metabolism, I don't know. But
Metabolic rate's slow. The body just doesn't process things as well or as efficiently as you age. I think more than anything, and something you'll appreciate too, we're going to go back to the fucking comparison of a car.
No, it's fine.
You want to be at 220 or you want to be at 205, right?
Right.
Find whatever the fuck you have to do for 6 months straight that's sustainable and consistent for you. Get down to 205. Whatever it takes, just get down to 205. And essentially you take that 2-week time frame when you're consistently 205, you're like, cool, I'm here, I feel good, I got here. That's your cruise control. You look at what you're doing day to day to day, and that's 205. You know, if you do that from sun up to sundown, you're going to stay 205 pounds. You're on cruise control there. Well, there's nothing to say that you're going to be human. There's going to be a Saturday, you guys go to a game, whatever, you have some beer, you have some cake, you have whatever the fuck you eat, and you're 212 the next morning. Just put your body back, just put it back in cruise control. Just go back to what you were doing that had you at 205 and stay there. Your body will come back down to that weight. You don't have to, oh yeah, you don't have to go to extremes. You don't have to go anything crazy. I had a client do this last week. He went to Vegas for a trip, and he was 196 before he left. He was 202 when he got back. He was like, Connor, that's a lot of weight for a weekend, don't you think? What am I doing? What am I? And I gave him the car analogies, fuel tanks full, whatever. I'm like, no, this is fine. I'll bet you money Thursday you're back down to the same weight. Don't change anything. Just get back on plan. Thursday, he actually hit a new low. And
I think that was me, actually. You actually did that to
yeah,
me
no,
too.
you did that. You did that too. You did that as well.
Me too.
So we always, as people, we fall back into these panic modes of, oh shit, something's wrong in this direction. I need to go to an extreme to fix it. No, just go back to that cruise control that had you there already. And over time, it might be 3-5 days, depending on your age and your body and whatever, you'll come back. You can just stay at that cruise control. And then you'll realize, cool, this is what I have to do to stay at 205. And then maybe you're a little hungry there, right? You add some extra food into your days and you're like, okay, I'm at 208. I feel happy here. This is my 208. This is my new cruise control. And then you can go enjoy yourself on a Sunday, on a Saturday, on a Friday night. You know what to expect the next morning. It's predictability, it's consistency. And those habits, those patterns, you find comfort in those patterns. And then you're like, okay, cool, I'm 212 this morning, whatever. That'll be off in 4 days. Just go back to cruise control.
Interesting.
Stay right there.
Very, very interesting.
So I got 2 more questions, a couple more questions to follow up. Quickly, just in kind of summation, give us a little bit, and know our audience. This is called the Old Man Grappling Hour for a reason. Most of our guys are a little bit elders. Tell us a few things very easily that these guys can do just off the top of your head that will help them to, maximize their output on a nutrition level, to get their proper training and their proper nutrition in line, particularly nutrition lines. Just a few things, like general ideas that they can do to help them out on the line.
How many hours we got?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Keep it.
We might
just
be,
a few
might be
little
here for a bit.
flashpoints.
Flashpoints. hydration.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your biggest thing.
Aside from contacting Connor. at
Yeah, that
Classic
could be the
Coaching.
easiest thing
I
for you
can
to
see
do.
that. I don't
Yeah.
drink enough water. I really don't.
Usually the biggest, quickest, easiest change I get with every client. Drink enough water for your day. And you guys on the mat, you sweat a lot. And trust me, I know. I've seen you
Yeah.
get off a mat. You guys sweat a lot. You got to put back what you got rid of. And also what's coming out with all that sweat is electrolytes. You got to replenish that as well. So something I have my fighters do. And now I can bring in John Lockhart's deal with this. So Conor McGregor's old coach back in 2017 did a seminar out in Vegas. And at the time, my roommate and I were pretty much obsessed with McGregor and the nutrition side of things that went into those fighters. And my roommate went out to Vegas and did a 3-day course with John Lockhart and his team on how he ran Conor McGregor's entire season. He came back and he was kind enough to share all that information with me.
Lockhart's his nutrition coach. Conor McGregor's nutrition coach.
Was to my
right,
yes at the time.
Right.
And so what those guys do and what I have my fighters do as well is a post-workout replenishment shake. And essentially, again, I'm going to go back to the car every fucking time. You're going through jiu-jitsu. At the end of that, at the end of your training, at the end of your match, whatever you want to call it, your idiot light's on. Your car's on empty. You got to refill it. So you have this post-workout replenishment shake, which is going to be your carbohydrates, a little bit of protein, and a good bit of electrolytes as well to just refill the tank and then move on from there. So starting with hydration is going to be your easiest, quickest thing to focus on. Get away from processed sugars.
What about Gatorade?
It's really shitty. It's food coloring and water mostly.
But it's got electrolytes.
Not really though.
Idiocracy when they put the fucking the Gatorade shit on the plane.
No, it's
got
fantastic.
He goes to the waterfall, the water fountain. Have you seen this movie?
You ever seen Idiocracy before?
Idiocracy?
It's a little
Yeah, they got that's the movie that they started with the Crocs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Back, the lady who cast it said that the Crocs will never catch on, and they made they used Crocs, and now they're the biggest fucking thing.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
the costume.
But that's what they in the future they were using. Gatorade. I forget what they actually called it, Brondo or something. But they were like, watering the plants with
dear
it,
God.
watering the farms with it.
Because the president's the guy who invented it or some shit like that.
Yeah, something
it's
like
a whole
that.
I feel like that's all coming full circle now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
you're
Crocs
so-
analogy just makes it real now. That's actually kind of creepy.
So
That's
the
actually kinda
costume, designer, I guess she had a lineup of shoes, and one of the people who brought in an example was like, "Yeah, this is my new shoe," and she's like, "Those are so ugly. No one will ever wear those 20 years from now."
Fucking-
Rob Kahn was wearing those.
Now
fuckers.
look at us now.
Everyone fucking wears them.
Idiocracy becomes.
But maybe is it different now than it was? Because I remember when wasn't Gatorade invented by like college football?
Yeah.
yeah, in 1968 when they were fucking smoking cigarettes on the sidelines.
So as a
They
base
put
product,
whiskey
it's
in
great. Like as making a base product for the purpose that they made it back in 1968, I'm sure. Yeah, it was great for what they intended it for. But then as science advanced and as we became more knowledgeable as to what we need to refuel, you look at the back of a Gatorade label and you're like, well, that's
fried fructose corn syrup and
fuck the corn syrup. What the electrolytes it's intending to supply you is mostly just sugar and like a little bit of
So
salt.
outside of water, what would you recommend to replenish electrolytes?
So I like a brand called Ultima Electrolytes.
drinking it right now. I'm gonna say my little.
Yeah,
me see.
so actually, I got my
I'm
own.
not saying my-
Got my
saying
own
my
in this
thing,
too.
Yeah.
And this is a full spectrum panel of electrolytes on it. So it's magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, potassium,
Where do
sodium.
I get something like that?
Whole Foods, Amazon.
We'll put a link up.
Yeah, feel free to put a link up. I have no affiliation with them. I wish I did. But
Have you thought about building your own, making your own,
there's so many of them
white
out there.
labeling or something?
So many of them out there. I think it'll be an
I'll tell
endeavor
you what,
to
the
dive into.
The supplement industry is a tough one to crack. I've known
Yeah.
some people that take
It's
it in.
a
There's
really
lot.
hard
It's a
uphill battle.
fuck. It's almost like a mobster kind of gangster kind of element to it. Like guys have been in it for so long, like you can't really crack in it. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, you need a lot of money to front
Yeah.
on both product and marketing.
Right.
Because most supplement companies, at least nowadays, even the ones that I recommend that are good quality, because for you audience out there, supplements aren't FDA regulated. So the crap you might be getting at your grocery store that says it's vitamin C, who the hell knows?
Whatever
what's in
the hell
there?
they put in it.
So what were the ones
I
you
learned
recommended
how to
again? Say
So
that.
just Ultima Electrolyte.
Ultima.
Ultima Electrolytes.
Okay.
But
So we're getting close. We're going a little bit over. Not really. We're gonna get close. It'll be
we dicked
the
around and
old
put
man.
the
Yeah,
tape-
the old man
tape back
hour
up.
and 8 minutes. We'll get to 5 minutes. We'll get to. But I do have one more question, just because it's something that I think a lot about. Like there was a time when I was so consumed with organic this, like no antibiotics, no GMO, all of these other things like that. How concerned are you in general? How concerned should we be in general about these things when we start to think about our supplement, or when we start to think about our nutrition?
What you really want to think about more is just the overly processed food options that were very, very conveniently given to eat from.
Right.
If you're going into your grocery store and between the organic section and the what regular section of your fruits and vegetables, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
It really,
We've
really
been
doesn't
genetically modifying foods forever.
forever.
Exactly.
It's just, I don't know why this became.
It's crazy. Like
it's-
genetically modified food helps this society, which
Yeah.
is overblowing.
I don't want to
fucking
eat a
survive.
chicken
That's how we
unless
get-
they fucking injected that chicken with fucking HGH and
Yeah, fuck yeah.
testosterone.
Save more money, bigger breast.
Yeah, exactly.
Strongly.
I want that chicken to be a good chicken fucker.
It's a good cock, really. So.
Exactly.
That's it. Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
Well, this is by no means the worst show we've had, believe me.
I want my chickens to be porn stars.
So we're not. So long story short, don't be overly concerned by the organic.
No.
or, you know,
Honestly, be more concerned to put the the organic or the GMO free shit down because you're paying extra
more for
money
it.
for nothing.
What about grass fed versus regular meat?
So there's been studies that show grass-fed meats is going to be a bit heart healthier.
Yeah, it gives you a little more nutrient, like magnesium and some of the other things.
Yeah,
right?
there's going to be some difference in micronutrients as well, but just based on what they're consuming, the meat product itself is going to be a bit heart healthier in terms of how it's affecting your lipid profile on lab work. So typically, if I have a client who needs to rectify that on labs, I'll recommend grass-fed beef or omega-3 grass-fed eggs. But grand scheme, I'd say pick for what is it? Grass-fed and then finished grain or just pasture raised, and those will get the job done.
And what about free-range chickens versus chickens in a fucking jail cell?
I personally opt for the eggs. You talking eggs or chicken?
I don't know, either.
So chicken,
Both.
I don't care. I don't have a conscience. I don't care how they were stored. I mean, at the end of the day, chicken breast is a chicken breast.
So it doesn't matter nutritious wise.
Nutrient wise, no.
It's only the PETA people
side,
that get mad about that shit.
yeah. on the chicken side, there's a slight difference because you're gonna notice, like, if you go to a Sam's Club and you get a chicken breast that looks like it's been fucking pumped with whatever, there's more fluid in there. So then it's gonna change how it tastes. It's also gonna change its nutrient profile a little bit because some of those chicken breasts are getting injected with like 30% of sodium and water. And you'll notice, like, if you'll see like white rib marks on the breast itself because it's stretched out so fucking much. Now, if you go to Whole Foods and you get something with their air chilled, they're smaller breasts, but you can see that front to back, it's all the same texture. It just looks cleaner. It's not fucking bulbous and blown up. So that's the slight difference you'll see there. Egg wise,
As far as nutrition goes,
nutrition wise,
it doesn't really make much
not so much of a difference. Cost effective, like
Yeah.
whatever you can afford and consistently do, that's going to be your best bet.
It's literally like, I'm telling you, like, for what I pay him, the money I save in actually just cooking my own food and not having to go out to eat or fucking whatever bullshit I did before that, it's fucking well worth.
You're probably saving money in the long
probably
run.
saving
Yeah.
money in the long run. To be honest with you, fucking a meal I make at and this is a big thing too. Like, a meal I made for myself cost me about maybe $8 at the most. Right now, groceries a little bit higher. Say it's 10. If I went to fucking any place in the world to go eat right now, it's going to cost me 15 to 20. Anything. Think about how much you paid for that Chinese food last night.
I don't know. My wife bought it.
15 to 20 bucks. No doubt, across the board, you ain't getting anything to eat less than 15. You can't go to McDonald's for less than fucking
No, not
$15
anymore.
anymore.
Which is fucking crazy.
All right, so First of all, great show.
I remember when a
Yeah.
hamburger from McDonald's was 69 cents.
79
That's
cents.
how fucking old I am.
I missed the fucking
79 if you
dollar
wanted
menu.
cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, the dollar menu.
Yeah, that was
79
my
if
shit
you
in
wanted
college.
cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
69 cents for a hamburger, 79
How
cents.
about,
if
how
you
about
want
Taco
cheese.
Bell? Remember how you could have a whole feast on Taco Bell for like
$8.
$5?
I put
Yeah.
Taco Bell on my high school budget.
Not
Now
anymore.
I own a business and I can't go to Taco Bell.
Yeah. Thanks, Biden.
Thanks, Biden. Exactly. Thanks, Obama. So let's cap it off here. First of all, thank you again. It was a really good show. I love this format. You did great. I love having intelligent people on that give intelligent insights
elevates us
to
a little
Yeah,
bit.
it makes us not look like fucking idiots. Here's your opportunity. Give us a little plug. Tell us what you offer. Tell us how to hit you. We'll put your info up. We talk about you all the time on the show, but we'll give you your time. Right now.
What's the best way to get you guys over to me? So, probably quickest and easiest way to find me is on Instagram. Classic Coaching, Classic
I
with a
followed
K.
you
So we'll probably
while
want
we
to put
were
that
in
on the
this.
screen somewhere. Or you can go to our website, classiccoach.com, classic with a K, and the rest of it's spelled like good old standard English. Should bring you to a good spot to look at testimonials, read some of what we do, and apply. Because
I got to get you a testimonial.
probably all want to apply.
I got to get you a good testimonial.
Oh, yeah, I'd love it.
You guys are awesome. I tell you what, man. Like I can't say enough good things about Connor. Like it's absolutely one of the best freaking nutritionist plan I've ever been on in my entire life. And believe me, I tried a ton of shit. Like he is absolutely amazing. He will get you right. If he says you're going to do this and you follow the guidelines, you will get there 100%.
And not
across the
for
board.
nothing, people, but when you want to get a nutritionist, you want them to look like this.
Yeah, no shit, dude. You don't look like
You don't
my
want
fat
him to
ass.
look. You don't want him to look like some fat piece
Look
of
at this
shit.
fucking guy.
know?
What do you think we bring?
This
out
guy
with
looks
evil
like he
hair?
was raised by
right.
corn-fed motherfuckers.
I'm not in Nebraska.
His girls bring out too. We won't talk about the girl he hangs out with. But anyway, we'll move on. To that. Sorry, I'm gonna get in trouble now.
No, you won't. Trust me. She's a spitfire. She'll come back at it.
Well, great. Again, thank you so much, Connor.
No, thank you
You're
for having me.
amazing. Let's spend a few seconds shouting out our sponsors.
Yes.
We're gonna wind this thing down. First of all, as always, our biggest shout out always goes to Mr. Troregano at No Judges Needed. If you're interested in grappling apparel, gis, rash guards, hats, t-shirts, shorts, spats, anything you can think of, grappling or fight wear oriented, No Judges Needed is your place. NoJudgesNeeded.com. Troregano is the man. They've been in the business forever, and for some reason, he still gives us fucking money. But I love him anyway.
Troy's the man.
Troy's the man.
Every time I buy something from Troy, I mean, I don't even talk to him that often, but if I buy like a shirt, he'll send me two.
Yeah, it's a couple
you know?
stickers.
And
I
I'm
got a
just like, thanks, man. I feel bad.
We also have Leheel Biogenics. We had Stacy on from Leheel.
Yeah, and I finally get to meet Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie's the best.
She's fucking cool, man.
Stephanie's so cool, man. She's fun as shit.
Yeah.
You guys would get along. She's a super smart chick. Stephanie is fucking awesome. We got to get you. We got to get all you guys.
I know, we should get all the
together.
sponsors.
All
We got to get all
the-
y'all.
all the
like,
nerds.
yeah,
I don't think they'd all
y'all
fit
get
in here.
We'll have it. That'll be a fun show.
Bigger storage unit.
Throw them in. No, you mean
No, this is $1 million
studio,
facility.
The studio, $1 million
Yeah,
studio
no, my bad.
space. It's totally not.
Totally not a storage space in Brandon.
Obviously, Connor from Classic Coaching, classiccoaching.com. That's classic with a K. We just had him on. Awesome nutrition advice, coaching, the best guy out there. Charlie Keenan, guest of the show. My physical therapist, also awesome from Rewire.com. Check him out on Rewire on Instagram or rewire.com for his website if you're interested in a physical therapist. He's got guys working for him now, so he's moving up. New things, big things coming for Charlie Keenan. I just saw him yesterday. And then finally, we got Active Health and Wellness for your mobile IV stuff. Melinda.
Wait, did you forget
What I forget?
the weirdo we had in last time?
Oh, yeah. Glowing review. Yeah, Nelson, we haven't been mentioning him, but Nelson Cacciatore is my
The massage guy.
oh God, is it Castellano Cacciatore? Fuck, which Italian name is it?
Oh, boy,
my
you
God,
fucked up.
Jesus
Cacciatore
Christ,
sounds more,
Cacciatore. I think it's Cacciatore.
Italian.
I think it's Cacciatore.
What's the
Sorry.
business
Sorry,
name?
Nelson. Epic Services.
There you go.
Go check out him, Epic Services. Massage therapy. breathe over you and bring your energy, and Sonny was very impressed.
I think I want to watch that episode.
He's got some good stuff. I'm just not a big fan of the Reiki.
Very smart guy.
It's one of those.
Yeah, very smart.
No, he actually
I'll tell you what,
Nelson,
Nelson, he did a good job of explaining it in his science.
He's a legit massage therapist,
Yeah.
but we were talking about Reiki and how I don't believe in that shit.
Nobody gives a fuck anymore. Jeff, cue the music. Thank you very much, guys. It was an awesome show. Connor, you're the man. We'll see you next week. I'm over this bullshit. I ain't here now. No fucking black holes here anymore.
Oh, good stuff.